My name is Rayford Blue.
And I'm Athena Blue.
But this summer, actually started in June, I started having problems with my back, and Sifu was adjusting me and giving me acupuncture. Mm-hmm. And but what had happened though, prior to that, I had gotten to the point where I could not get up on my own. I couldn't sleep in a bed. In fact, I wind up sleeping on the floor because it was just so painful to sleep in a bed. Everything in my body was hurting and aching. And in July, we went to the doctor, and they said that I had stage 4 bone cancer. And
prostate.
Yeah, prostate. Yeah, but it had gone to the bone. I stage 4 prostate cancer had gone to the bone. My PSA was 7,700. The normal is
77,000.
77,000. I'm sorry.
The normal is 0 to 4.
Yeah.
And so it was very high.
Yeah.
Very, very high.
And they basically said that there was nothing they could do because it had gone to the bone. And so we were given what's that shot?
It was a hormone.
A hormone shot to
suppress the male hormone, to suppress testosterone.
Yeah. And while doing that, then we came out and was talking to Sifu about it. He said, well, I could help you. And I never thought that you could do anything with martial arts with cancer because, nothing that I had ever read or heard of validated that claim. And as he explained, how the mind works with the body to control the immunization system, it controls everything. And what he taught me and what he's continuing to teach me, not only how to breathe, but also that from a mind standpoint, you have to, and that was one thing, because I'm a retired military officer. And being in the military, we were constantly going, doing, making things happen, which means there was a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. And apparently I never learned to relax. And that was one of the things that Sifu was talking about. You need to learn to relax. You need to understand that everything that's happening around you, you can't change. You can't have an impact on. But the thing that you do control is how you think and what you think. And so from that standpoint, you need to learn how to relax. And that was one of the most difficult things because we have 5 kids, and they're off in college and all of those things, and we're dealing with their issues and our issues and just everything that was going on. And again, I didn't realize the impact that those kind of things would have on my body because I was absorbing those. They became personal. And he said, you got to let all of that go. And I'm like, how do you let it go? And then he started teaching me how to breathe because at night, the pain would be so bad that I couldn't sleep. And so he taught me how to breathe so I could sleep. And then that was, how I started to say, well, this really works. Didn't understand it, and then he said, I need to be doing the exercises 3 times a day, and I started doing those. And they were simple things. What was it called? It's Tai Chi, obviously.
Qigong.
Mm-hmm. And it's simple, but it required every part of my body to do something, and it didn't hurt, which was really kind of unusual because at that time, I honestly, be quite honest with you, it was a long time before I really learned how to walk again because I had to have my kids and my wife, carry me to various places because I could not physically do it. Actually, I lost, when this whole started, I was about 230 pounds. Within almost 3 months, I was down to 160. So, I mean, it was, and then, that dramatic weight loss which then required me to learn again how to walk, how to balance myself. Because again, those things were something that I couldn't do, and I had not done because I needed assistance to do it. And so my family, and this was a tough time because we had basically been told there's, once it goes to the bone that there's nothing anybody can do. And we just refused to believe that. And then that was one thing that Sifu was talking about too, with mind, body. You got to train your body and your mind to control, your immunization system. And so, the process begins, as we now say. You have any comments? You want anything?
Yes, it's been a journey. I'm looking at it from the healthcare perspective, as I'm a registered nurse, and I've seen many patients come and go from where I work. I work in an operating room, and I see a lot of cancer patients come in to get portacasts put in so they can have chemo, and some are without hair, and some are just terribly frightened and everything. And we knew when Rayford was diagnosed with this, the only thing that they had to offer was radiation or chemo, which in itself is a killer itself, because he was in such a dilapidated position that I knew that would probably just go on and take him out. So we were thinking about his quality of life issue. And I knew, and because we had seen before from his first bout with it in 2009, that he could recover from it. It's just that he has to learn that this is going to have to be a lifestyle change, and something that he's going to have to do the rest of his life, not get over it and then go back to your old ways. So I think we've learned that now, and I'm learning more and more that there's stuff out there that can help people, that doesn't have to harm your body or kill your body. It can help stimulate your body to heal itself. And the more I see that, the more I am impressed with that, and the more I'm a believer that the body does and can heal itself. And I've seen it from him the first time and the second time again. It's what you believe. And working with Shifu and the other doctor from Georgia Integrative Medicine, which is also has his ancient or Asian remedies that helped him. It was just a whole total thing. So the mind, body, the Qigong, the other herbs that we've been on, the more natural nutrition, it all played a part. So it's a whole total thing to get, as Chief would say, the energy flowing to stimulate his immune system so that he can begin to heal himself. And he had a massive tumor in his abdomen, and now it can barely be felt. So now we're just waiting for him to have his next appointment so that we can get his PSA to see how far down it's come, and then a scan to see what the scan's result show as far as it being gone from his abdomen and his bones. So this is a journey, and we've not given up. And what I can say to people who have cancer, don't be afraid, because when you are afraid, then that just exacerbates it and makes it grow faster. Don't be afraid. Seek out help. Don't believe your doctor if he tells you you only have so many days to live, because he doesn't know anything. What you know is what you know from yourself and what you learn, and that you can overcome this. It doesn't have to be a killer. Cancer does not have to be a killer, but it is a big moneymaker for the healthcare industry. So that's your only purpose for the healthcare industry, is for them to make money off you. You should be concerned about yourself and getting well, not making money for the healthcare industry. And that's where I'm coming from. And that's what I want to do now with the rest of my life, helping people to overcome this and not become a cash crop for the healthcare industry.
One thing that you mentioned that I definitely want to make sure people understand: cancer feeds on fear. That may or may not make any sense to a lot of folks, but it's just like adrenaline. Okay, if you are afraid, then that fear is exacerbated by the thing that you're afraid of, and that's the same thing with cancer. If you are afraid and that fear is known to you, and you have accepted that fear, then cancer feeds on it, because it determines what your outcome is. What do you mean by saying that? What I'm saying is that you believe that cancer is going to destroy you, it will. But if you believe that your body is strong enough to overcome anything that's happening to it, then it will. So your mind determines its outcome. For example, I had a cousin who was also diagnosed with, she had colon cancer. And her doctor told her that she had 30 days to live. And I told her that if you believe, you can live longer than 30 days. She died on the 30th day. Okay? Because she didn't believe what I said. She believed what the doctor told her. And see, my concept is, and what I've learned is that the doctor wasn't there during my conception nor my birth, and he damn sure won't be there at my end and determine what my end will be. Because that's what a lot of them think that they're God and that their word is sacrosanct. But I'm here to tell you as a living example, stage 4 prostate cancer that gone to the bone. Today, I can swim for an hour. I can walk now for an hour to hour and a half. I couldn't do those things. I literally, like I say, had to learn how to walk all over again. But my doctors, they were like, they sent me home to die, basically. Because there was nothing that they can do. But with, like I say, with the help from Sifu and him really talking about, and these are things that I have known, that the mind controls the body. I've always known that. But what I didn't know is how to put that in practice. I didn't know that the pressures and that everything that was going on was so a part of what, I was internalizing and never understanding how to release that. And that's what the part of the journey that he's really helped me with. He said, you can survive this. But it's up to you, if you want to live. And then it goes to a deeper purpose that all of us have, what is our reasons for being here? What is it that we need to accomplish before, before we leave? What is it? And so when you start asking yourself that question, then you start to understand that, as long as you're here, your work is not done yet. Whatever we were sent here to do is not done yet. And therefore, you've got to live. And you got to live life to the fullest and appreciate every day. Regardless of how you feel, if you can see another day, it is a blessing. And so from that standpoint, it's just, I hate to kind of say, but it's really kind of been exciting, as well as scary. But from that standpoint, life is such a precious gift that, like I said, we just need to make sure that we understand that we can take advantage of it and live it every day. And don't let a day go by where you're not grateful for being here. Because a lot of people didn't live to see this day. And so we have that opportunity. So what difference do we make in the day? And that's really what it's all about. But this has been an extraordinary journey, and it continues. And it will continue, because I think that once people start to understand that they have a lot more control than they realize, and I think that's one of the things that we don't get from our doctors. They won't say, well, you can have an effect on this. You can have an outcome on this. They look at you and say, well, this is what my book says. And then you have to say, well, and in my case, because all the nurses were just almost in tears, because like I said, I've gone from 230 pounds to 162 or 160, and they were just almost in tears. You're not going to make it through the end of the week, and all this sort of thing. And so it's been about almost 3 months now since I've been to the doctor. I will be going back next month, or this month actually, so I can get a checkup and see how I'm doing in that. But I think what we've learned here with mind, body, and just learning how to relax and learning to put things in perspective, it's just been, phenomenal, to be quite honest with you. So